With the Genius Insight, it is the premier biofeedback assessment tool in the industry right now. And one of the things that we wanted to do dealing with complementary medicine or frequency medicine or alternative medicine was to give you, the practitioner or the user, more flexibility in terms of how you want to deliver the energetic signatures to the client. When I say how, we are talking about the frequency type. Do you want maybe a sine wave or a square wave, or what type of frequency do you want to be able to generate with the Genius? We felt this was an important feature. And to access that, you go to your navigation, your frequency, shape and form, and you will get to this page. What we're going to do is go through the respective items here. As you can see, we have the wave intensity. It is our suggestion to keep the wave intensity at a default. By increasing it 10 or 25 or 50%, you're basically increasing the power of the actual frequency. In other words, you're adding more power. So if you multiply it by 10%, you basically are increasing the power by not 10x, but 10% or 25% or 50%. The next thing to have a look at is your wave shape. We have either the sonic signatures, or we actually have the sonic signatures, we have the harmonics. I'll describe the differences between those two shortly. And then we have your different waveforms: sine wave, a square wave, a sawtooth wave, or an alternating wave. So for those of you that are uncertain about what a sine or a square or a sawtooth wave would look like, you could always go ahead and open up the internet and go ahead and type in maybe wave shapes, and let's see if we can pull up something. Maybe sine wave. So if we go to the images here, we should be able to find some different waves. So as you can see, this is what a sine wave looks like. In other words, when we are generating the frequencies, if you have it as a default of sine, this is the kind of wave that is actually being generated. Then we have a square wave. Which will look like this. Well, here's perfect. Okay, if we have a look at here, we have a sine wave, we have a square wave, a triangle wave, and then a sawtooth wave. Typically, the Genius is set for a default of a sine wave, but if you wanted to change it, you certainly do have the flexibility. Go ahead and select square or sawtooth as an example. Your delivery of the energetic tones. This is really important. The sonic signatures are specific frequencies. In other words, within the Genius app, every single item that you are looking at will have a minimum of 8 different frequencies, sometimes a lot more frequencies as well. And when I say frequencies, as an example, it could be 356.51 Hertz. And when you push go or balance or start analysis, or specifically during the balancing actually, we are delivering and generating those specific frequencies that we have programmed into the app. However, as an example, when you are creating a library and you do not have the specific frequency and you are basically just entering in the word, and then we take that word, we convert that word to an energetic signature, that is known as the archetype encoding process. And within this module, we will actually send you a link where you can read about the archetype encoding process. So here, in terms of the delivery of the energetic tones, we have 2 different options. The sonic signatures, which is the specific frequencies when we are generating those specific frequencies, or the archetype encoded process, which simply means we've taken the word or the text or a paragraph and we've converted that to an energetic signature. Your two slider options here, you can basically adjust the intensity, in other words, the volume. So if you want your audio frequencies to be at 100%, that is fine. You set it up for 100%. And then your enhanced layering technology. If you haven't downloaded this, it's a free download. Please do download it. As you're downloading it, you'll see we have a series of different audio files. These are layered audio files, and we will play these audio files on top of your normal balancing session. So by downloading this, having it at 100%, you will actually hear the frequencies. They will actually change because we now have additional audio files that are actually playing on the actual background. So if we have a look here, in terms of the wave intensity, we've got some text information here. The wave intensity, it can be left at the default, and it's quite sufficient for most sessions. Increasing the intensity can be helpful for those that are trying to work through acute issues such as pain, a recent injury, or something where quick healing is required. But again, my suggestion is really keep it at the default. Your wave shape, here we have the soliton or stacked wave. This is like taking each individual frequency selected and playing it as if it's the singular frequency as it cycles through the selected frequencies. The harmonic wave, in contrast, is going to include harmonic frequencies for each frequency selected as well. Okay, so two differences. The harmonic wave selection, it's likely to have more depth and far more reaching power than the actual soliton wave. That's up for debate, but nonetheless. The waveform, sine wave to create more coherence and for normalizing physical functions. Think of the heartbeat, the pulse, brain waves, and others in the body. These are all typical sine waves. The square wave is used when clearing any infection. The square wave, it's the best way for clearing parasites, bacteria, fungi, and virus. Most Rife machines actually use a square wave. The sawtooth wave can be used for breaking up places of stagnation. This can be physical stagnation in the case of fibrosis or adhesions, or it would be also stuck emotions as well. So this is where your sawtooth would be great. And obviously the last option that we actually do have, as I mentioned, is you've got an alternating wave, which if you select the alternating wave, the Genius will automatically alternate between the sine and the square and the sawtooth wave. It will give you a notification as it's busy changing, but nonetheless, a lot of practitioners do actually favor that alternating wave option. So typically, one of your best settings would be something like this, where you've got your harmonic frequencies, you've got it set to alternating, and then you've got your soliton at 100, and then your enhanced layering at 100. This is your sort of optimal setting if you are looking at this page. But again, I would encourage you to listen to the archetype encoded process. It's a completely different way that we generate the frequencies. The sonic signatures have specific measurable frequencies that we have programmed in. The archetype encoded process is where we have a mathematical program which will take the words as we are looking at and convert those words to an energetic stimulus. Thank you.